Happy birthday.
You guys started too low because
to
you're mad.
you. No, this is how she sang it. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Well, she always did it like she made you think that birth wasn't coming.
Yeah.
Happy, and you're like waiting for it, and she'd be like,
Oh, what day? What
birth,
day?
and you're like, oh,
thank goodness.
okay. Every line was that, and that to me is the history.
Pretty
That's
sexy.
history books.
Definition.
Pretty sexy.
All right.
Sexy sis.
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh wow! All right, I'll do the intro.
Go ahead.
Hello and welcome to the Meet Cute, the podcast all about. Hello and welcome to the Meet Cute, the podcast about all things romantic comedy, but mostly the bad ones. My name is Zach.
I'm Haley.
I'm Edward.
This week we're doing the movie Extremely Wicked, Unbelievably All About Steve.
And all about Steve.
That was your great intro.
That was his great intro.
I also
he was bragging.
No.
He was bragging, saying, "I've got a great intro for today."
It lives up.
I also got it wrong. It was supposed to be Unbelievably Wicked, Shockingly All About Steve.
Shockingly.
No, that's not even true. Extremely Wicked, Shockingly All About Steve. That's
and
what it
vile.
was.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and all about Steve.
So yeah, we watched the Ted Bundy movie, but more importantly, we watched. Oh, guys, I'm so upset that I'm telling you this. We watched the 2009 American kind
Thriller?
of romantic. Yeah, it's a thriller.
The
more.
Ted Bundy movie was objectively more romantic.
It was comparatively.
And he was a mentally abusive psycho.
She was too, so that's fine.
What?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about this movie that we're about to discuss.
We watched 2009's comedy film. Now, we thought it was a rom-com.
We messed up.
We messed up. Some people consider it a rom-com. It surely isn't, but it is all about Steve, guys.
Growing up, my parents, when we talked about the movie and like sort of told the story, like the gospel of it, if you will.
Of course.
It was always sort of believed in my family to be a rom-com. And as I've grown older, independent, I can make my own decisions about things. And I think I'm sort of steering away. So I haven't been home for Thanksgiving in a few years.
Sure.
Because of this movie.
Yeah.
It's 2009's All About Steve.
This is terrible. I mean, we've seen bad things, but this is truly the worst thing I think I've ever seen, right?
She produced this. She
No.
believed in
The
this.
same year she won an Oscar
I know.
for The Blind Side.
And she won a Razzie. This film won 2 Golden Raspberry Awards.
Did she win the titular Razzie?
I believe it
Raspy.
because I
The Raspy.
read that she showed up and accepted the award.
She Halle Berry'd. Halle Berry did that.
She did that.
Yeah, for what?
I don't remember. Catwoman?
Yeah, it was Catwoman. Yes.
And that was like 2 years after Halle Berry won an Oscar for Monsters Ball?
Yeah, something like that. Monsters Ball, Monster-in-Law, one of the monsters.
Monsters Inc.
My Little Monsters, Born This Way, Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
you know.
the tour film.
Halle Berry as Lady Gaga.
Haley, do we even give them a rundown of the
I
synopsis?
think we have to really dissect it and just go through the fucking story.
We have to. I don't think we can give them a synopsis.
Because here's the thing. We don't want you to have to watch this movie because it's so bad. We can tell you and you will believe us.
I want to take time with
Yeah,
this.
that's what I'm saying.
Is this our first 4-parter?
We'll see you next week.
I'm
It's like the Hunger Games.
I'll put you this way. I don't want to take time with this. So hopefully that'll even out to a normal length episode.
That's fair. I feel like we'll get off track a lot because I don't know. We'll see. We'll have fun.
Edward, tell me, because Haley's seeing it head on, so I don't know if you scroll up a little, Haley. The poster from the side looks like the In the Heights poster. Look at it from the side.
It does. You're right. Just the colors and the way that, yeah.
And like,
So what we actually got was an early screening of In the Heights.
yeah,
the movie, yeah. It's not gonna do well. It's just, I don't care.
They changed the names. Nobody
No
is Hispanic.
songs. From the first one.
Guys, things we have to talk about. First off, this is starring Sandra Bullock.
And produced by Sandra Bullock.
Haley's amplifier for her rock guitar is still on.
Turn it off.
Okay.
If it's offending you that much. Jesus.
Ooh, there's a red light on. It's listening to us.
This film stars Sandra Bullock, Bradley Cooper, Rocket Raccoon himself, and also I'm on the deep end.
Watch as I dive in.
He
That's right.
famously does not sing that part.
Imagine Bradley Cooper's like,
He would probably kill it. He's a good singer. He was good in that movie.
He's a better raccoon. But
I want to talk though. Were you about to list the third
Yes.
person? Please do.
Thomas Hayden Church.
Sandman.
Now,
I wasn't done. I also wanted to give a nod to, he's not named on the poster, but he's physically on the poster, Ken Jeong.
yeah, shout out.
A young-looking Ken Jeong.
Now, what's weird to me is that who do you think gets first billing in the movie? Pop quiz.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Who do you think gets second billing in the movie? Don't answer, Haley, because you know the answer. Edward, who do you think?
Oh, gosh. Well, the answer is should be Bradley Cooper, but is it Thomas Hayden Church?
The answer is Thomas Hayden Church.
That's odd.
On the poster, on the opening credits.
I mean,
What?
he's more of a character than Bradley Cooper is, but it's all about Steve.
But it is.
It's all about Steve.
It's definitely all about Steve.
He's the all about Steve.
And I don't actually think, I wouldn't say THC is more than, that's weed, right?
No. Then what? Oh, is it weed?
What's the abbreviation for his
Right.
name? But
I
that's
think
weed,
so.
right?
I think it's weed.
What?
THC, that's weed.
That's
Is
the
it the
stuff
liquid
in...
That's CBD. That's
It's,
yeah.
it's the
Chris
stuff
Benjamin
it's the
Derrick.
stuff that makes you like high.
yeah.
When you take that out, it doesn't make you high, baby.
We do lots of weed here at the Weed Cute.
Yeah, you know those guys who talk about different strains of weed? I'm in one of those.
My favorite strain is lit monkey.
I like purple trees.
And like Burning Groot.
Aw.
Groot.
So this fucker, Phil Trail, who directed it,
Piece of
directed a few, a lot of TV. He did win the Razzie for Worst Director.
Congrats.
And he directed a lot of The Middle, which was a very long-running show. He directed 25 episodes of that show.
I hate The Middle.
No,
I didn't watch
I've seen
The Middle,
it a few
but
times, but it was fun.
It
I
was
liked
fun, yeah.
it. Also, Last Man on Earth. He directed an episode. The Real O'Neills, Good Girls. So he.
I mean, I hear these are
has,
relatively
yeah.
well-watched shows.
Yeah,
So
this
he's a
movie hasn't-
decent director.
This movie didn't end his career like it should have.
It absolutely should have.
Who wrote it? Who scribed?
You know what? Let's see. Written by Kim Barker. Let's see what she. Oh, that's so
Ugh.
sad that a woman wrote
A
it.
woman, am I right?
I'm so sad that she wrote this.
This set feminism back a million years. It didn't.
And also,
It's just a bad
it
movie.
also set everything back.
It
was
did,
just-
honestly.
Okay,
this
so
was-
it appears as though Kim Barker is a news person, is like a reporter for the New York Times.
it did.
Now I don't know if they're the same person.
Does she do crosswords? Because that would make sense.
Yeah, with that, let's get into this.
Yeah, we
That's a
spent
great
too much
transition.
Blowing it up.
So Sandra Bullock plays Mary Horowitz. She loves talking about how she's a crossword puzzle writer for the Sacramento Herald.
She's got a lisp. She uses big words. It's a whole.
She has a
thing.
lisp?
She does.
I
She
did not
talks
notice.
differently than Sandra Bullock does. Pointedly, but not like a lisp.
Yeah.
But she talks like with her tongue against her front teeth.
What an acting choice.
I don't
kind
know
of
why.
like commend her like use of speech.
Or is it perhaps Phil Trail's directing choice?
So everyone in like the first 2 fucking minutes of the movie is like, be normal, Mary. You're such a fucking freak.
They all punch her.
And from what I can tell in the opening 2 minutes is that, okay, maybe she's a little bit of a know-it-all. She really likes her job and she's just like a little bit nerdy, not like the way they're treating her, which is shut the fuck up, you little fucking freak bitch. And then they punch her in the gut.
And people are constantly like giving her, she says that she moved out of her apartment because it's being fumigated, so she's living with her parents temporarily.
No, okay, now I want to talk about this real fast because she mentions that the whole movie, is the idea supposed to be that she's lying and lives with her parents?
I didn't get that till the end, but I think so.
But even the parents at one point were like, when all the news reporters were beating down their door, they were like, look, sometimes it takes a while to fumigate apartments. So do you think that was
that made me think
thematic
that they were in on it too, in the sense of like, you know, they're all just saying it, but they're not thinking.
It wasn't good enough to be like a lie.
And it wasn't clear enough.
I'd
either.
like that to be the case, because then I would like this movie more, which I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't.
So we don't like this movie.
We don't have an
that movie.
answer, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
So her parents set her up on a blind date.
His name is Steve, so he's probably gay, I think, is a joke she made.
Yeah, she's like, the parents probably want to set him up because he's gay and just want to test him out with me, and just weird 2009 gay stuff.
I'm so happy that gay jokes like that just went away.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm sure there exist in some
in
capacity.
like Nebraska. No hate to Nebraska.
Oh, I meant in film-wise.
Full hate to Nebraska.
In fact, I don't think there's any in the 2014 film Nebraska starring Bruce Dern.
Whoa. That was nice. So she gets set up at this date. She talks to her fucking hamster about it.
Cute. Terrible, but cute.
Yeah, her only friend is a hamster. Really, like, they're painting her to be this very, very sad figure.
But she's also Sandra Bullock.
Yes. So she looks like
if this were
Sandra
early
Bullock.
career Emma Stone, I would buy it more. Because she was
maybe.
like, she had that like weird indie nerdy girl vibe.
Right.
This is Sandra Bullock. She was a mom of a heavy-set football star that very same year.
She was also in Miss Congeniality, produced by the same people, baby.
Wait, who
Herself?
am I? Oh, my bird box. I can't see a thing inside my bird box.
Ooh, Stanley Tucci in The Silence.
Yep.
All right.
My cousin.
Yeah. I don't know if it's too soon to say this, but for I'd say the first like quarter to third of this movie, it was extra mean. Like,
It was just mean.
It felt like the idea was that we weren't supposed to be rooting for her. It felt like the idea was that we're all supposed to be laughing at her.
Right.
And
But she's the main character.
that is, we're supposed to be behind her. She was just like, she wasn't likable, but what was even less likable was the way that the movie wanted us
to not like her.
like her, yeah.
But she wasn't, they went out of their way to do that, but she wasn't strange enough for us to...
Yeah,
for it to be justified,
just
I guess.
Kind of like the weird kid in your class who people were mean to, but
they weren't bad.
But
people.
they weren't a bad person.
Also,
she
they
just
weren't
really
super
liked
weird.
horses for too long. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Like she wears silly red boots, and they're like, "You are an idiot."
Yeah, you're fucking stupid red boots.
If I had one bullet in my gun, and it was between you and Hitler,
I choose Hitler, but
I would also not like you.
But I would not put on your stupid boots.
It's like, what's reasonable? Tim.
Okay. So she's painted as this very sad figure. She talks to her fucking hamster. She talks to her hamster after she sees Steve, who's surprisingly hot because he is Bradley Cooper with standing up hair and frosted tips and
He
a
was
necklace.
just shocked by lightning.
But she's like, whoa, he's hot. So she runs back up, whispers to her hamster, oh God, he's really fucking hot. So I gotta change into sexy little undies.
I'm gonna bone this guy.
And the hamster's like, oh, fuck yeah, tape the whole thing and put it on my cage. I'm going to run on that wheel so fucking hard tonight. I'm going to fucking, if there's going to be smoke coming off that goddamn wheel, Mary, you're going to have to buy me a new fucking water bottle because I'm going to suck the metal graining off of it, you bitch.
And the camera just keeps getting closer to that hamster.
It's just his little nose twitching.
Oh.
Oh, it's so cute. Okay. So she gets changed. Steve is like, I like your boots. And for some reason to her, that's like, he's perfect. Because I guess everyone makes fun of his boots, her boots. I don't fucking know.
I
It doesn't
don't know.
matter. There's no nuance to this film.
There's no anything in this film.
So it's raining pretty hard. So they walk to his van and they sit down and he's like, oh, I think we'll go to this restaurant, blah, 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 blah. And it zooms in on Bradley Cooper's thin lips talking.
His raccoon-esque lips.
And then slowly over his shoulder, the hamster. Now,
He crawls.
I needed to be in the room. I needed to feel the heat coming off of your pulsing bodies.
Okay, hold on. zooms on Bradley's thin little lips talking, and
Yeah.
she's like, you can see in her face that she was like, I'm gonna fuck Bradley Cooper. So you know what? She tries to. She jumps right on him, and
he's like okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's like, I just want to fucking fuck your bones. I'm sorry, jump your bones.
God damn.
The hamster backs off. Whoa, his bones, Mary. All right, settle down.
This is a lot.
So she's doing her thing. I guess he's thinking it's like pretty hot because, you know, she looks like Sandra Bullock.
She's Sandra Bullock.
And they're making out, and she's like, we're doing it right in front of my parents' house. Who the fuck cares? But then she starts talking too much and doing her Mary thing, which is to just like spew facts about every little possible thing that comes up.
Yeah.
She loves
crossword puzzles, so she knows many things.
So eventually he's like, I'm going to bail. So he pretends he gets a phone call and he's like, I have to go to work. And she's like, okay. And then
his work is...
he's a cameraman for the local news station.
But he says, ooh, wish you could be there.
Yes. To which she's like, but you have a job. Oh, I have a job. So, whoops, not going to work. See ya.
Yeah.
He thinks he gets out of this. Now, the next day, they show her crossword puzzle. No, they don't show her crossword puzzle. They show everyone in Sacramento looking at the crossword puzzle going, this makes no sense. How am I supposed to know this crossword? What? How would I know this answer?
Because that crossword puzzle is all about Steve.
It's a full fucking crossword puzzle.
And now, this was something you said during the movie, Haley.
Yes.
So do you want to say what?
I don't know what you're going to tell me.
Okay. Oh, here it comes. You said they just printed it?
Yes. Okay. Wait, yeah. Is Mary also in charge of printing? Because her boss sees the printed copy that has supposedly been all over fucking Sacramento and is like, I gotta let you go for this. How could you pull something like this? Is there not an editor?
There was a cut scene of her and the hamster sneaking into the presses late at night.
So, like, how... I mean, I guess they had to propel the story forward, but
you know what? No, you can't let them off the hook for stuff like that.
Yeah.
They could have figured out a smarter way.
We know how newspapers work.
Yeah.
An editor looks at it and goes, no, or yes.
It could have been a draft of it, and he could have looked at it and been like, no, and then he could have been like, you know what? Your attention is elsewhere. You got to go.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Problem solved. We don't have to care about how we get there, but we do when it doesn't make sense.
Or she could be in charge of printing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But just tell us.
Yeah.
Which would be so weird if the crossword puzzle girl was in charge of printing.
See, it doesn't matter.
Many newspaper copies. But you know, this movie doesn't make any sense anyway, so let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
So she gets fired because she makes her crossword puzzle
all about Steve.
Literally, like, what was his ex-girlfriend's name? What's his favorite color? What color are his eyes?
They met for 10, 15 minutes tops. I think we were with them in real time.
For 2 minutes.
So 2 minutes.
This was very close to an episode of 24 in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, their date was in real time.
Yeah.
Terrible. Not enough time. Oh, one of the crosswords was like, what do Steve's lips taste like? And she said mint explosion.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugh. God. But like, this is the point where they weren't really showing her as full on crazy until this moment. Like, there were no signs.
Yeah. She was just a weirdo, and now she's crazy.
Now she's a crazy person.
And again, I don't like laughing at that.
No.
I'm not going to. So stop trying to tell me it's funny.
Something about it feels, I don't know. Like, maybe this person exists and you don't want to laugh at them.
In a good movie, in a better movie, they could have made that a thing. Like, she has a mental disorder or something.
Which is what it felt like.
But in like a way that she's like, oh, or she's depressed or something. She's like, I need something to fill I do all these weird things because I'm insecure, or I see life in a different way. They could have done anything.
Yeah, they did not have the nuance for that.
But that's a good point. Like, we've all met, not only have we all met people like this in our lives, and I don't think necessarily find them like a reason to laugh at them.
Yeah.
Right.
We've all been that person too in ways, you know, some more than others. Like, there's some times where you do stuff that you're like, this is something I do that maybe other people aren't into. And I don't understand that I'm doing something that they don't like. And that's okay. But like, it just feels mean to let that define a person and have that be the driving force behind a comedy.
Right.
Sandra Bullock put money into playing this role.
She wanted to, this was her passion project.
And it's disappointing because I don't think she's a bad the character is a bad person or even a bad character. And I think that she didn't get her dues.
Right.
Oh man, guys, we got to pick it up. This is insane. We're still at her getting fired. So she gets fired. And then she thinks, you know what? I've thought about it. I'm just going to go find Steve because he wanted me to. And I'm obsessed with him anyway. So she goes and finds Steve.
He's the first place he is at that hospital.
I can't believe this is the first scene. Okay. So, oh, wait, before that, she's on the bus. She gets on a bus to see them.
Right.
And she's talking the whole bus ride, and everyone's really annoyed because she's spewing out facts every 2 seconds. So the bus driver kicks her off, and she hitchhikes with a trucker named Norm.
Was he the guy on Lost? It doesn't matter. I just thought he looked like it, but
we'll look it up later.
Keep going.
No, that was the big black smoke monster.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not a person. Yeah. It's like animated or something.
Yeah. It's a metaphor. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So she meets the trucker who takes her to a hospital where this is the real report. Bradley Cooper and Thomas Hayden Church, is that his name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're reporting a baby who was born with 3 legs.
Great. And
apparently this is fucking breaking news in this universe.
the parents are divorced. One of them wants to keep the 3rd leg. The other one's like, no, that's a weird thing. And so there are crowds that have gathered outside, pro-leg crowds and anti-leg crowds, and they are causing a commotion.
And what is the song that they're singing at one point?
Okay, the pro-leggers are singing.
They're like kind of like a lot of them are portrayed as like being like hippies.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Just TV context.
Keep the leg, my friend. Keep the leg.
And you hear that in the background. It's not featured. It's like people are having a conversation and you hear them singing. And it's at this point that I need to ask you guys a serious question. Is this movie very funny? Because that's really funny.
Almost it is.
Almost,
it's
okay.
Almost funny.
If that were on Community, the TV show, that would be very
That's
funny.
what I mean. Place it somewhere, Parks and Rec.
This is a very funny scenario. Or a very funny idea of a scenario, like people having this debate over something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It's almost a little too offensive and playing with human life to be actually funny, but the Save the Leg, my friend singing feels like a Community episode where they're debating about like whether they should have like chicken nuggets in their
something,
where they would do that, and it's just in the background and you hear it and it's not like featured.
Funny.
It's so funny.
It's very funny.
But it is
it's also
in All About
so
Steve.
not funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we
Real
don't
quick,
even.
I don't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Okay, but
all
you
I'm going to say
did.
is just to make it clear, I don't think they realized how funny that was and therefore used it for almost the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
They didn't take that to its full potential.
Yeah.
That's all.
The funny part is the singing. The funny part
Yeah.
isn't that in this world the breaking news is that a baby was born with an extra limb.
That song is like I don't think they realized why that was so funny.
Right.
Because everything was so ridiculous. But the song was funny.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I just remember what that guy did for a living. DJ Qualls' character. It's fine. We'll discuss that later.
Okay. So now I just want to say, as we get to each part, know that the movie goes like this. Mary shows up wherever Steve is. Steve goes, oh God, she's here again? She's crazy. Thomas Hayden Church goes, oh, you should give her a chance because this is funny for me. And Ken Jeong goes, I'm a nice guy. Y'all should stop being jerks. Those are the 3 camera news team people.
Yeah, that happens.
And that happens many
5
times.
or 6 times.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the sake of describing this, we can skip all of those parts. We can just assume that happens every time Mary shows up in a new location because nothing else happens.
Yeah.
So at the leg thing, Mary meets these 2 people. One of them is he carves apples.
Yeah, he carves apples into celebrity faces that I guess are instantly recognizable to these characters.
Sure.
It's like an apple head, and they're like, oh, yes, that's deceased President William Howard Taft. Among other things.
He's actually still alive.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, is he here today?
Billy. Flash.
Oh, such
He
wet
approaches.
footsteps.
What can I do for you, Meet Cute hosts?
Billy, get back in your bathtub.
Okay.
My history teacher, real quick, in high school, whenever he said William Howard Taft, he would quickly say, William Howard Taft, our nation's fattest president.
What?
Yeah, William Howard Taft, our nation's fattest president.
So funny.
Wow.
It
Anyway,
shouldn't be funny, but that's really
that's
funny.
really funny.
Anyway, a skinny little guy who carves apples, and this hippie-looking girl, Elizabeth,
know.
who's like,
Oh, she has a
stupid
name?
and ditzy.
Eastbound and Down.
She's from Eastbound.
Eastbound and Down HBO. Eastbound and
He's
Down.
from The Core. Stanley Tucci, Aaron Eckhart. Anyone?
Yeah, Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, the show Eastbound. and Down.
HBO.
Okay, great. So, and also every time, because Thomas Hayden Church wants her to come and Steve doesn't. Steve never invites her, so he runs off and leaves. But Thomas Hayden Church always manages to leave her a note that says, "Meet us at this
Right,
next
yeah.
location." So the next location, there's like a storm, I guess, that they're
Yeah,
covering. They're
there's a
covering a storm, but she hitchhikes with the two people I just mentioned, and they try to get to the storm, but instead they get fucking hit by the storm.
No, not even. I mean, yes.
Yes,
but it's like a hurricane where they are.
They're calling it a hurricane, but then when they go to Mary, it's clearly a tornado.
Exactly. It seems unrelated.
Yeah.
Like two different storms.
And like a hurricane, effect-wise, you just make it real windy and rainy.
Right, yeah.
A
Yeah.
tornado, you have to like
You have to digitally-
or find one and schedule the shoot around.
Maybe that was it. They were driving
Yeah.
towards the hurricane site, and they were like, "Whoa, a real tornado!"
I don't make movies. I don't know.
So the three of them have this bonding experience because they like huddle in a storm drain and like are safe from the
But
fucking
there's
tornado.
not even like a bonding scene. They're just
No.
like laughing in a sewer,
Yeah.
and they're like,
But we're friends now, I guess.
we might die."
Whatever. So next location, there's a mine that collapsed.
Ooh, I will say this though.
What?
Something that once again is almost funny. Mm-hmm. Bradley Cooper's wearing a disguise, and they're driving past the site of
Tornado.
the tornado site.
Tornado hurricane.
The tornado hurricane site. And Mary has like picked up a piece of the car that was destroyed that they were taking, and it looked like machete. And she started running after their van, like holding a machete. And Bradley Cooper was like, she's got a machete! Which is almost, once again, in another movie, could almost be funny, I guess.
Oh, God. Okay.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. Also, and again, somehow in this scenario, THC manages to...
He
He manages to write her a
on
note
a
to be like,
popcorn
meet us at
bucket.
this next
Yeah.
place somehow. Which she does. And the next location is a mine where these deaf children fell into the ground, but it turns out to be a mine that has been, like, I guess, rebuilt to be
Classic
ground.
comedy.
As a comedy.
The worst thing about these poor deaf children who fell down the fucking mine is that every time they reference the kids, they call them deaf kid or deaf girl or deaf boy.
Not boy or girl. No, sir.
Or John.
Which is the joke that they're deaf? Because
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a few times.
I guess so.
And that almost feels like, again, the making fun of Mary from the beginning, being like, isn't it funny that this person is like this? And it's like,
Yeah.
no.
That's a
It's
good
not
point.
funny.
Right, yeah.
They're a normal person.
If you were like,
no. They work weird.
yeah, if you were like, oh, they dress as moles, so it's funny that they're in the ground, that's a fine time for me.
Sure, why not?
But losing one of their senses is not
Yeah.
being children on top of it. It's
gotta be hard.
I never in my life would laugh about that.
Okay, so
Pay me.
in this Jesus.
Write me a check. I won't cash it.
He is a hero.
Literally, I will be the godfather to your kids, but I won't take care of them if you perish. And it's just an honor for me to be in your
To
life.
be nominated, really.
Yeah.
So, speaking of hero, the two of the children are rescued from the hole.
Most of the children are rescued.
Well, there's two children that are rescued.
Go on.
Go on. And And then they're like, oh no, the ground's shakier. So the hole opens up and Mary comes on the scene, and I guess she misses that everyone's been told to back out of the way of this fucking hole in the ground.
She had AirPods.
That was it.
2009 AirPods.
That's why she's weird. She has future technology.
And she ran in her red boots all the way. She was ready to run to Steve, and she falls in the fucking mine.
Yeah.
And the news reports are going crazy. Where the fuck is Mary? Blah, blah, blah. And she finds a third kid down there.
Yep.
So I guess she writes a note up the hole somehow.
It doesn't
They send
matter.
her note to see if she's conscious. She is. She corrects the spelling in the guy's notes in the note, and also says, P.S., there's a deaf girl down here.
Right.
Was anyone missing their deaf
We
girl?
got a third deafie, is what she writes.
No, what she really writes is, everything's fine about her except she can't hear. Which,
Can you
yeah.
imagine if they were like, wait, no, we got them all.
Who is? It takes off its mask. It's a mole person.
And that's funny to me.
In a better movie.
Yeah.
So I don't.
She gets
she's down there
rescued.
for a
I
long
gets
time.
rescued.
Who
It
gives a
doesn't
shit?
matter.
Doesn't I'm sorry, she doesn't get rescued. Instead, Thomas Hayden Church starts to feel bad about being a dick because there's thousands of protesters who have come to see Mary and pray for her.
Yeah, and every character we've been introduced to, every single one is watching TV or at the hole watching it.
So we've got
And
the
they're all
truck driver, the
praying.
two hippie people. Earlier in the movie, we skipped this part where she gives a career day speech to kids, and they all make fun of her.
Young Gibby from iCarly is in the kid
Yeah.
crowd.
Oh, nice.
One of the titular kids.
One of the titular Hearies,
Kids by
as they
MGMT.
say.
Yep. That's
Why
my
is this
Bob
a lounge
Dylan.
version?
Mine was jazz.
Mine was
fusion.
Dylan. It's fine.
It's all so good. Thomas Hayden Church starts to feel guilty, so he dives in to save her. But as she's down there, she's already figured out a scientific way using the old mine cars and fucking science. It's garbage. Manages to
cares?
get herself up and lets Thomas Hayden Church take the credit for being a good person.
And then he
so
smacks her on the butt, and he's like, "Hey, you gotta
good luck, because
you're
it's
a hot
something
girl."
that's something he did earlier in the movie to be like, good work.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a really bad callback to a dumb joke.
Yeah, that thing we all love that he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
classic move.
When
Yeah.
a man slaps a girl on the butt, we go, ooh, more of that.
But
That's funny.
One thing I noticed, and I pointed this out to you guys while we were watching the end, was that while she's getting rescued, it shows a quick montage of all the people
That's what we were just talking about.
What?
Of all the people watching.
No. I'm saying it's all the people watching, and they're all mini characters from throughout the film.
We were just saying that.
Did you say that exactly?
Yes.
Are you
Similar.
sure?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I was listening for that, and I don't know why I didn't say it.
No, I phrased it differently.
Oh, that's probably why.
Yeah, that was probably.
But
Anyway.
that's what he said.
Okay, no. The total. Yes. I don't know why I didn't process it.
I guess I stole your thunder, and I apologize.
No, it's not even thunder. It's we all have the same dreams.
Look, we all share dreams.
Rewind. Go off, Queen.
Okay, I'm going to go off Queen. So Bradley Cooper at some point realizes that she's not that bad of a person and she means well, and that maybe she's beautiful in her own way.
Right.
But Mary also gets out and decides that she doesn't need Steve, and she was enough the whole time. And Steve even says, don't change for anyone. And she says, I'm Jewish Catholic. I'm pretty much set in stone.
Who was the whole movie based around that joke?
Because they never
Build that.
It just felt like that felt like a Deus Ex Machina to me.
Yeah.
To a point where it's wait, why did you say that
What?
now?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
You've
So
never-
guys, I'm sorry, but we joked about there being an end credit scene.
What?
It was the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm reading that there was.
What?
what happened?
After the end credits, a competitive TV reporter, in despair that Hartman, meaning THC, got popularity by trying to save Mary by going into the mine, he also jumps in the mine.
Oh, was it the
The other competitive news guy who
Competitive
was
guy?
nobody. I
Oh,
don't
good.
know.
I'm glad he got some plot.
But also, I
Great.
have to say, in another when I talk about this, it seems very community-y, but it's not funny, I promise. There was the one news segment where the competitive reporter guy was...
That was funny.
See, that was...
Yeah, that was funny. That was community-esque funny. So he was trying to like elaborate on the Mary part of the story to get ratings. So there's a segment of him wearing red boots being like 1 hour into wearing these boots, and I'm feeling cramped and like a walk in Mary's shoes, and it's him walking in her red boots. It's like hour number 2 and I'm starting to understand.
Then he falls on the ground and he's like, ah!
Maybe because like Phil Trail, director of the year, had like so much experience in TV. Maybe the Kim Barker who wrote it, I think that was her name.
Yep.
Maybe she like has experience in TV writing, and maybe she wrote for Community. Those little tiny things make me think of.
Truly not possible.
I'm stretching. I don't know. But is that the movie? I wanted it off my screen. I didn't have time for a post credits moment.
I brushed my my eyes with toothpaste after this. So.
Ooh, I found the one other thing that Kim Barker wrote. She wrote License to Wed.
Oh, that's on our list.
Yeah, it should be
with
our
John
next one.
Krasinski and
Robin Williams, Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot that movie existed.
He's like, you got to get me to like you before you marry her. And it's like, never.
No, that's not a thing, but okay.
Okay, priest.
We'll get a new priest.
You never had a priest like me.
Hey.
So that's the movie. Like,
we'll be right. I don't know if we're going to rate it.
we shouldn't rate this because...
0.
Zero.
Yeah, 0.
Zero
Zero's
Steves.
all
Yeah.
around.
No
Zero
Steves.
Steves.
We'll be right back with a different segment. It's funny, too.
So we are back, and we have a meet cute first.
Edward had to go. Just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, get that out of the way. Edward had to step out. He's very busy writing a sequel to this film.
He sends his regards. But Haley, why don't you tell them what we're doing?
This is the first time we're ever doing something like this. I am so excited. We actually have an interview planned with one of the cast members of All About Steve. Bradley Cooper, welcome.
Oh, he's doing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding, guys. That's not me. That's not my character.
That's fun, though.
Yeah. I like to have fun.
Now, Bradley, we want to talk to you about the movie because you're so esteemed now. You're an Academy Award nominee.
Yeah. I've been a raccoon a few times. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, yeah, part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So when you look back, in your career now, when you look back at a film like this, what do you think? Like, would you have done it again?
I don't want to say yes because that makes me sound too unexcited. So 1,000,000 times yes, I guess.
Wow. So where do you see this film in terms of your overall legacy in Hollywood?
Well, it's certainly a dark stain, I guess, on the tapestry that is my career, which is why I'd like to redo it, to maybe make it what it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Of course.
Obviously, you've played many roles.
Mostly raccoons, a cowboy that one time, and a chef.
No, you've played a variety of award-winning roles, and I just wanted to see, how does your character of Steve relate to the lead character in American Sniper? Chris Kyle.
No, I'm familiar with the name. I was Chris Kyle. Well, we're both true and blue Americans.
Of course.
Steve and American Sniper. We both took inspiration from Clint Eastwood. I don't know if you saw the way I looked through the scope in the sniper rifle is reminiscent of the way that I looked in the lens of the camera.
I knew it was familiar.
It was, yeah.
So nuanced.
Oh man, yeah. What came from what? Am I right? Yeah. Oh man, and also I loved my kid. I had a kid in American Sniper, right? No, I don't know. I never saw that.
Yeah, no, you did.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Because you're famously Bradley Cooper.
I'm famously Bradley Cooper.
So are you saying that you're saying that Steve had a secret child?
Did you not get that?
I didn't pick up on it.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
I didn't.
You'll have to call Phil Trail and
I'll call Philly up.
Well, that reminds me, because you mentioned a few minutes ago about how you'd want to do the film right. So
of course.
What does doing All About Steve right mean to you?
Well, I mean, look, we had a powerhouse cast. We had me, first off. We had Sandra Bullock. We had me. We had Keith David, who's still relevant.
All right.
We had me, Thomas Hayden Church. I feel like, just call Philly up. Just get me behind it. I don't want to say that I should direct it, but I'm not saying that.
So a remake of All About Steve is going to be your follow-up to A Star is Born.
I think so, because in a way, my star was born with All About Steve.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It wasn't a bright star, it was a dark star, but hopefully I can turn it around, really make it something I'm no longer laughed at the supermarket for.
Any I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bradley.
No, please, both of you take me on at once.
This is your gross. This is your third appearance on the Meet Cute. Actually, we saw you in Valentine's Day as the guy,
Valentine guy. Yeah. I was on a plane.
Yes. Oh, you've played so many roles. What was Holden? Your name was Holden.
It was.
And of course you were Demo in Failure to Launch.
Oh, famously, yes.
So, and now, of course, Steve and All About Steve, which good to know that All About Steve was the movie right before Valentine's Day. You had a busy 2009, 2010, didn't you?
I think The Hangover also came out 2009.
Oh, yeah. I was ramping it up.
Yeah, you were in The Hangover, All About Steve, and Valentine's Day.
Pulling in the ladies, if you know what I mean.
But my question is, what is your favorite role of those three?
Those three?
And why?
And why? Of Demo, Holden, and Steve.
You know, I have to say this. It's unfair to pick a favorite.
Wow.
Holden got me in touch with my sensitive side. Demo got me in touch with nature and like the universe and whatnot.
Right.
And Steve was there too. So really, it's just how can you pick, you know?
That's true.
When they're all your favorite.
Any fun behind the scenes stories you can share from All About Steve?
Sandra Bullock was never wearing those heels, actually. Anytime they cut away to the heels, it was someone else wearing the heels. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So she had a body double for the heels.
Specifically, knees down.
Wow.
Wow. That's very interesting. Did you guys get along on set? Was she a bit of a diva, or were you the one asking for nothing but green M&Ms? You know,
I like the blue ones. I like the blue ones.
That's why you haven't eaten any of the trail mix.
Yeah, if you could start picking them out.
We put out for you. I'm sorry.
No.
So before we let you go, Bradley, any Marvel Cinematic Universe spoilers? Anything you can give us?
Fun?
Come on, give us something fun.
Okay, I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I'll just I'll say it. I am Groot.
We know you're
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
Bradley, it's been a pleasure having you.
Look, anytime, guys. I am just downstairs.
Yeah. Weird that I saw you in the laundry room and I said, you want to come do our podcast?
Yeah.
And you said no so many times.
But you kept asking, so here I am.
Yeah, I will give you back your dog now. You can have him back.
I miss him.
Bradley Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming, Bradley.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Oh, Edward, did you forget something?
Yeah. I forgot something. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I got it now.
Perhaps you forgot to wrap up this episode.
Oh, all right.
Guys,
all right.
I tried searching facts about All About Steve, but instead I keep getting pages of interesting facts about Steve Jobs.
Oh.
You know what? Fuck him too. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, what did he do for us?
Oh, man.
You know what he did? He made the laptop that my boss dropped, and it somehow became my responsibility to get it fixed. That's what he did.
Well, worse, he made the laptops upon which we all watched All About Steve.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Had we not had laptops, we wouldn't have seen this movie.
This is Steve Jobs' fault. You know what? All About Steve indeed. I have to say, for the Meet Cute. No, if you liked what you heard, if you hated what you heard, which is much more realistic, if you have any movies you want us to do or anything at all, please reach out to us at meetcutecast on Instagram and Twitter, or at themeetcutecast@gmail.com if you're a private boy. For all of us here at the Meet Cute, my name is Zach.
I'm Haley.
I'm Edward.
And I'm Steve. That was Bradley Cooper coming back.
Oh, great.
Get out, Bradley.
Bradley, go.
Oh, he's stealing rice cakes. Okay, I'll tell you after. It's a rice cake story. It's not that interesting.
All right, well, we're going to go talk about rice cakes. Bye.
Bye.